Coming up this week, off screen.
We meet the receptionist,
Check in to Hotel Artemis.
bust out another escape plan,
Get a beating with Dhadak.
explore Generation Wealth,
And climb the butterfly tree.
all of us to come and more off screen.
This is Off Screen. Off Screen. Off Screen. Off Screen. With the latest film news and reviews, this is Off Screen, the on-screen radio show.
Ooh, welcome off screen, I'm Van Connor.
And I am Case Allen.
So, Mr. Allen, very fun week.
Isn't it always?
It's always fun. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been roasting, isn't it?
It's too hot today.
It's too hot. I shouldn't have told about that customer's secret illegal account. It's too hot. But, so we got some fun to come, you and I.
Yeah.
There's the Slow movie out. Did you know that?
Yeah, we're going to talk about it in a second.
We are. We can talk about
Yeah.
that's fairly quick.
Yeah,
actually.
did you know this coming from the producer of Rambo?
No, I did not know that it's
And the
coming
producer
from
of Creed?
Is that what they've gone with?
I think so.
They've gone with the producer of Rambo and the producer of Creed.
Yeah.
You just like, why don't they just stick Stallone at the top of the poster and have done with it?
But before we talk about that sequel, we'll talk about another sequel that's going to be happening.
Okay.
So a while ago you said, we ain't ever going to see Zombieland 2. We are going to see...
Hang on. Can I correct you? I didn't think we wouldn't see Zombieland 2. I knew we would see a Zombieland sequel.
We would just be old and grey.
I think I always said, though, it's just going to be bit part actors stepping in for, like, the Amazon pilot.
Oh, right, yeah.
I think I said at the time, you will never get those people back. It's just not happening.
Hey, guess what?
Are they coming back?
Everyone's coming back.
Oh, my God.
yeah.
What's-
Everyone. Emma Stone is coming back.
Is there Fanning? Not Fanning. Who's it? Breslin.
Breslin. It's
Not
Breslin.
Fanning, a Breslin. Is Abigail Breslin coming?
She's coming back.
Where?
Woody Harrelson's coming back.
Okay.
Heisenberg is coming back.
Heisenberg.
The two writers are coming back. Ruben Fleischer.
Ruben Fleischer was the director, wasn't he?
And
The
he's
first
coming
one,
back as well, and they're going to be shooting it in January. And it'll be coming
Nice.
out in October of next year.
Well, what bit of fun, Halloween fun for us all.
Exactly.
Why not?
More horror and more
Yeah.
Halloween films.
Isn't there supposed to be something? There was a thing. There was like a plot synopsis leaked or something like that. That it was going to be. There's a new variation of zombies. or
Well, of
something to
course
that effect. But yeah, as long as I get, is it Tallahassee back?
Tallahassee, yeah.
I'm in. I'm sold. And
Give him some Twinkies.
I tell you something. I can't think of Abigail Breslin now without thinking of that really terrible Dirty Dancing remake. Did Cassie make you watch it? I imagine
No, she
Cassie
did not.
put it on.
No,
Did she not?
No, she doesn't like Dirty Dancing, which is one of the reasons why we're married.
Hang on a minute. Your wife, of all people in the universe, doesn't like Dirty Dancing.
She hates Grease.
What?
Of course, yeah.
Hang on. Let me just go Little John from like, what?
Yeah.
What is there?
Yeah.
I'm devastated.
Why?
I sat through the remake of Dirty Dancing. I think because I did a radio thing about it.
Right.
I was doing some. It was about remakes. I was doing a radio spot about remakes, and it was the day after Dirty Dancing came out, so I had to, of course, watch Dirty Dancing. My God, that is a terrible remake of Dirty Dancing. Abigail Breslin is terrible in it, and the remake itself doesn't work because they've added a bookmarking mechanism to it. I don't know if did you hear this when it was out?
I did not know.
So Dirty Dancing, of course, takes place kind of in the moment. There's no like flashback element to it. The remake with Abigail Breslin is actually set 20 years after the events of Dirty Dancing.
Interesting.
She's gone to like a Broadway play of Dirty Dancing that is hosted by effectively the Patrick Swayze character. And at the end of the movie, she meets him again in the present.
Right.
And basically, they broke up. That's what you take away from the remake. So Baby and whatever his goddamn name was, Swayze. Just
Swayze.
Just statutory rapist Swayze. Anyway, Roadhouse. She and Roadhouse broke up 20 minutes after the film ended, is what we take away from the remake of Dirty Dancing.
That makes me enjoy Dirty Dancing more.
A little bit.
Knowing that.
A little bit, yeah. It doesn't have Lumiere, the dancing candlestick, as the dad. In fact, it's Bruce Greenwood, I think, which is about the only thing they get right.
I was going to ask who is the dad.
Bruce Greenwood, and the mum is Deborah Messing. So,
Really?
Yes. I know.
She's got to that age.
And,
Wow.
right, This is how bad the remake of Dirty Dancing is. Nicole Scherzinger's the best thing in the film. I swear to
quite
God.
like her, actually,
I'm not
really.
making that up. Like Nicole, she's totally it.
Okay.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
by all means watch it, but you are watching it for the Scherzinger.
Yeah, I won't. I would sooner watch Grease 2 than watch...
Do you know what? I don't remember Grease 2. Anyway.
You're not a cool rider.
I'm not. I'm clearly not. Anyway, so let's... any more film news before we move on to our plugs? Anything leaping out this week? Anything,
I've got a few.
You've got a few
things,
in the can.
but I'm going to save them for later.
So let's plug the podcast. If you want the extended version of this show, you want the extra reviews we can't fit into the radio edit, which, spoiler alert, we usually stick the slightly rubbisher ones in there, if we're honest.
Way to sell it.
I know. Or just the ones that aren't really that mainstream, because you know when you get like 6 mainstream films and 2 art house ones, you kind of have to put the art house one.
Yeah.
You put one, don't you, in the radio edit, and you put one in the podcast edition, and that's just the way of things.
That's how we do these things.
Yeah, that's how we roll. But we, there's lots of film news, and there's a moment of Cage, and everybody loves Nicolas Cage. They do. By the way, a bit of a plug. This is not for us, by the way. This is for our friend, Mr. Meakin. Meakin has taken over. Is it Movie Talk on Sunday? Is that the thing? Hashtag MTOS, I think it's called.
I didn't know what it stood for, but I saw that he put that online recently.
Yeah, I think he's taken it over from this. We know Andy Meakin from he manages cinemas, and we know him through that. You worked for him for a while, thinking about it.
I did.
And not that he's ever let us forget it at all. But he's doing this Movie Talk on Sunday thing, and it's very popular, it seems. And he has specifically asked us to join in this week.
Oh, nice.
We are to join in this Sunday night for Movie Talk on Sunday, because apparently it's Nicolas Cage themed.
Well, I've got to be involved.
So get your Twitter account going. Hashtag MTOS. I think it's Sunday night, so that'll be this coming Sunday. That'll be what, the 22nd?
I believe so, yeah.
So pop on. I'll join in. I mean, even if you won't, I'll join in because I'll talk Cage till the end of time. But,
I'll 100% be there.
But yeah, so Sunday night, let's have some Cage talk, man.
Cool.
Movie talk on Sunday.
Let's
Let's rock
about
this.
Wicker Man suit that I've had specially made.
with some stuffed bees in the living room, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You just sit there around your teddy bear bees, as it were.
Yeah, saying, how did it get burned?
Exactly. Yeah. So, first review of the week then. Let's start out strong, Mr. Allen. You've been waiting for this one. Let's talk about Escape Plan 2, Hades.
Hades.
Hades. Outside of the UK. In the UK, it is just Escape Plan 2. Double I 2. Right. Not number 2, double I 2.
Double I 2.
Hades outside of the UK, though.
Interesting.
So, do you remember, what are your fond memories of Escape Plan? Do you have any?
I don't know if I'm fond. I remember seeing it on an afternoon.
Fair, yeah.
I probably had a coffee with me.
Now, this is the thing. I think I had a similar experience.
It did make a massive impact in my life.
I was really excited about Escape Plan because it was that team, wasn't it? It was Arnie and Sly.
Arnie and Sly.
That's it, isn't it? Like, outside of the Expendables, they're finally doing a film together. And that was the whole hook. So, if you're going to do a sequel, presumably you get Arnie and Sly back. No, you don't.
Oh, you at least get Van Damme.
Well, they've not got Arnie at all, and they've barely got Sly. Right, and genuinely,
who have they got then?
They have got a cast of what they've done, that thing where they effectively get a cast of no-namers to do it. Now, this was, if you remember when this was greenlit at the same time that there was a third Now You See Me movie greenlit, and both movies at the same time came with the news that to market them to where they had actually been successful, in other words, China. They had to beef up the Chinese quotient.
I think we need to get a Donald Trump China button.
I think we do. China. Is it China? China. Yeah. So what you have this time, I'm trying to remember his name. His name is Xiaoming Huang. Xiaoming Huang is our new hero. And he is Shu. He is Shu.
Like when you see a cat coming into your house. And
Shu. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He is Shu. Shu is the master protege of Ray Breslin, a.k.a. Sly Stallone from the first movie. The idea is that after the events of the first movie, Stallone went back to work. He stopped having himself locked up and breaking out of prisons. Instead, he just hung out in the office, which I think is in... Is it Atlanta or wherever the tax cut is?
Did he have like a new coffee machine installed?
He did. And he hired Jamie King Remember Jamie King? Remember her? Yeah, Jamie King, still a thing. That rhymes. That's practically Susian. Anyway, he has now got a team of protégés whose job it is to get locked up in prisons and find the way out. So, the first movie, except it goes to no-namers and Stallone is the mentor.
Right.
Okay.
So he can just stay in one location
He
and
can
get
stay
paid loads of money.
Yeah, for 2 days, except for another 2 days where he has to briefly appear in the prison, kind of thing. And no spoiler there. This time there's a twist. Wait for it. So it turns out one of his former apprentices, whom he sacked at the beginning of the film, after a
doesn't go against him, does he?
Oh my God! Did you write this? Hang on, are you actually the writer?
I am. I'm also the producer of Rambo.
Yeah, clearly, yeah. And don't short sell Creed. Come on, just own that.
Just Creed 2.
Okay, so former protege is now the enemy. Here's a clip.
How you doing, Leon?
Leon.
You know, one of my men is missing, and I think he's in a black site prison called Hades. Ring a bell anywhere? And there's this company called Rushco, European satellite tech company. They gave you about $10 million. How about that?
$10 million.
A lot of money. But I think it's all bullshit. Because you don't lobby for satellite tech.
Look, Ray.
You lobby for black site prison profit, am I right?
Look, Ray, you and I...
You're gonna tell me what you know.
So, as you've just asked, Batista is Batista a protege. Now, despite the fact that Batista is actually young enough to be Stallone's protege, no, he is not.
So who is he?
He's a sort of Expendables-like cameo who Stallone just goes to in a bar somewhere and hires to find shoe. That's literally.
Is that all he does?
He's effectively. I don't want to say Ving Rhames in Mission Impossible. He's Jeremy Renner in Mission Impossible.
No one wants to do that.
If Tom Cruise is barely in Mission Impossible.
Right.
Like, imagine that. It's rubbish. He wears a flat cap for far too much of the movie. And he doesn't really get to do an awful... No one gets to do an awful lot in this movie.
Does he not fight or anything? Or
it's a mess of... Oh, they've all got obligatory fight scenes. Like that one sequence that you can splice a couple times and stick in the trailer. It's a rubbish film. It is, like, you know that we have this whole thing with the Chinese Hollywood thing. You know, this Pacific Rim idea, you know, of, you know what, we don't care if the sequel's any good. Let's just make it because Chinese audiences want to see it. Now, usually, the end result turns out slightly better than that. This is not one of those occasions. This is the occasion where, wow, yeah, they literally made a movie to sell to Chinese audiences. Fine. And that's what you get here. I struggled a lot of the time with liking any of even Stallone.
Well, it sounds like he's hardly in it.
He's
enough
barely
to like. Really.
Not enough. In fact, genuinely speaking, do you know the most prominent returning cast member for this film? You'll never guess it. It's 50 Cent.
Well, I could barely remember who was in the first one.
Well, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But 50 Cent is the most prominent returning cast member to this film.
Right.
And this is a film that's just phoned in to an unbelievable... Stephen C. Miller directed this. Do you remember Stephen C. Miller? He directed a bunch of direct-to-DVD Bruce Willis movies, including one with Kellen Lutz, like a year ago.
Called?
I forget, but we interviewed him for it. You weren't free that day.
I do remember that.
Do you remember? Yeah. You weren't free that day. I interviewed him, and we very quickly discovered that he had no sort of sense of self-awareness or self-deprecation.
Stephen C. Miller.
Stephen C. Miller. Not Stephen Miller, Stephen C. Miller.
There is a Stephen A. Miller.
Of course there is.
There's a Stephen E. Miller.
There's not a B or C. Not a B, sorry. There's not a B. Is there a B? B or D? I'll take B or D.
There is not a B or D, but there is a C.
Now, I liked his films because I liked the sort of schlocky quality to him, and I think he started to take himself a bit too seriously. And that was before I interviewed him. And then I interviewed him and discovered, yes, he absolutely takes himself too seriously for, you know, the schlock fun that he should be having. This is a film that very much subscribes to that idea. It's a film that it's nuts and bolts. We are literally subscribing to the SVOD crowd, if that's the term now, is it? Is it SVOD?
I believe so, yeah.
Straight to video on demand.
Let me just give you some of his filmography.
Some of these are good. I'm just going to say that in advance.
First Kill.
Okay, don't remember that one. Don't remember First Kill at all. Go on, what else is it?
Bruce Willis.
Of course it was.
You'll remember this. Southern Fury.
Oh, with Nick Cage.
Nick Cage.
Yes. Yeah.
Marauders is the Batista Bruce Willis one.
No. Marauders is the second one. He did one before that with Kellen Lutz. That's like Christmas. I think he did one like Easter.
Extraction.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, that's the. It had Gina Carano in it.
Yes, it did. Yeah,
It did. Yes, I loved me some Gina Carano. Anyway, so Stephen C. Miller, workman-like direction. This is not in his upper echelon. Nobody involved is trying. Believe me, even Batista is picking up a train. This is a movie for which even 50 Cent feels he's too good for. And that's really. Please always remember, Get Rich or Die Trying, or whatever it was called. This is a man who knows he's too good for this. That's a low bar. I came away from it just thinking, why did you set this up for a third one? I don't want to sit through this again.
They've already started to film.
They have already filmed it, yeah. There's a weird continuity to it. They add this sort of Lost-style continuity to the events of Escape Plan. And
Why?
You kind of... Wait, hang on a minute. So... Hang on, it was Jim Caviezel in the first one, and now...
I don't really remember that much about the first one.
Jim Caviezel locked them up, he just didn't like Stallone. That was the movie, there you go.
Right, done.
Now we have Titus Welliver. Remember, you know Titus Welliver from...
Bosch.
Bosch, yeah. Bosch and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's in the MCU.
Who watches Bosch?
My friend John Mosby, because he's a big friend of Michael Connolly. I think that's the audience. I think that's it there. And nobody watches Amazon shows. That's a thing. And accordingly, this will end up on Amazon Prime in about a month.
100%. Yeah.
It's a limited theatrical release. It's a limited VOD release as well. It's on VOD, but it's a limited theatrical. One of those things like Sky Cinema kind of do it with like a Non and movies like that. So you can watch it at home, or you can watch it in cinemas. Just don't watch it. It's not very good. Just watch the first one again.
With the latest film news and reviews. This is Offscreen, the on-screen radio show.
And we're back, Mr. Allen. How much do you love Binary Sunset? It's a classic, isn't it?
I love it a good 10%.
I think when it's my time, I've already left instructions that I am to be burned to Binary Sunset. Like everyone is to drink a Jack and Coke as I am burned to Binary Sunsets. And you, of course, are to stand by the casket in a tuxedo crying. But it's contractual obligation.
He was my world.
I've always wanted a woman to sing. What's the one from High Fidelity?
Many Rivers to Cross.
No. It's the
you're the best thing that ever happened.
You're the best thing that ever happened to me. Thank you. Because we were talking about High Fidelity earlier and how much we juvenilely adore High Fidelity. It's a great movie. You enjoy the Skittles?
If you can hear some rustling, it's me eating a Skittle.
I know these lav mics pick up everything, don't they? Just tip them next time. It's probably the easiest idea. So, should we talk about a documentary? I love a good Dog Wolf documentary. So, Generation Wealth.
What is this one about? What is Generation Wealth about?
Generation Wealth is effectively an examination of our culture and how we have processed wealth and richness in our celebrity world and the bling ring culture, for lack of a better term. There is actually a moment in it that specifically deals with bling ring. So the way this works is, I say, Dog Wolf documentary, pretty not fly on the wall stuff. It's very much a retrospective. It's very much one of those, hey, well, back in 2003, we all really liked Paris Hilton for 20 minutes. And people decided they were going to start taking photos of themselves, and then selfies were born. That's the documentary. You know where it's coming from because you've seen this kind of thing dealt with before.
Sounds pretty interesting.
It is,
according to the cast, there's a guy in it called Limo Bob.
There's a lot of guys in it. I'll explain. Here's a clip.
I've been a photographer for 25 years, with my lens focused on wealth and the excesses of our culture. The scale of the excess became clear when I documented the family building the largest house in America. I noticed that no matter how much people had, they still wanted more.
Yeah, Limo Bob's definitely the breakout character of this piece. This is one of those cases, and I think, to be honest, this is less a fault of the documentary, and I think more a fault of that period in history, that period in our pop culture. Which is to say, if you look back, you go back 15 years, you go back 10 years, and you look at the celebrity culture and how it began, and you look at the rise of reality television and the Kardashians, who feature quite prominently in this. The problem is, there is not a lot to say. That's not a fault of the documentary at all. The documentary is perfectly fine in dealing with that. The problem is there's not a lot to say about that culture. And, we tried to mine some kind of meaning from it when it happened. Do you remember One Night in Paris? Remember when that was a thing? We tried to find some kind of metatext in this. There simply wasn't. Was it A Simple Life or The Simple Life?
The TV show.
Yeah.
With Nicole Richie, isn't it?
Yeah. We tried to find stuff to pull meaning out of around that time. There simply wasn't a lot. The documentary does about as good a job as anyone realistically was going to do in looking at that point. Nobody wants to look back and remember that the OC was a lifestyle aspiration outside of just enjoying the OC. For you and me, it's Pete Gallagher, man. That's where it's at.
Sandy Cohen and them eyebrows.
What was the thing from Will and Grace about the OC? It's the OC with 35-year-old parents and 25-year-old kids. I love that. That's my favourite comment ever on the OC. But the documentary, it's enjoyable as a retrospective. It's enjoyable as a, hey, let's just remind ourselves kind of thing. And it's so weird that this is our teen years. It's so weird that we get to be at that stage in our late 20s, early 30s, where you get to look back at your own teen years and you think, that's so weird that this is deemed important enough, despite the fact that there's literally no substance to it. And like I say, Limo Bob and characters around that time who I think if they existed now would be Instagram stars for 5 minutes.
Yeah, there's a lady in it called Jacqueline Seigel, who was the focus of a film called The Queen of Versailles.
Yes.
Yeah, directed by the same lady.
There's a lot of that, isn't there?
It's really worth checking out, actually, Queen of Versailles, if you've not seen it.
I think, though, it's got an unexpected boost by this news this week that, is it one of the Kardashians, Kylie Jenner? One of the Kardashians, isn't she?
I had better things to do this week, like, I don't know, making sandwiches and...
well, this week she became, I think she's the youngest self-made billionaire ever. And people have taken issue with the term self-made.
Self-made, right, yeah.
Yeah, please eat the Skittles, by all means. Tip them out, enjoy.
I'm gonna get this right.
Just funnel them into your mouth.
Into the lav mic.
Go, eat all the Skittles.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, you do that, you filthy Skittle wench.
You like that? You like that, Skittles?
Yeah, you like that rainbow, don't you?
I can't eat these now.
I've made it filthy for you, haven't I?
I'm going to put these down.
But that was the whole thing. So I think the fact that it's come out the same week as the Kylie Jenner story with the self-made...
Was it a Forbes list it came out?
Something like that. I've not read it, to be honest. I just it's a Twitter conversation, isn't it? But this is very much a retrospective, not so much an analytical piece. Now, I felt... That's it. I felt that it was lacking. I want to see that analytical piece. And really,
I would be interested in it.
Yeah, there's only so many times you can hear... Well, people saw all these images on MySpace and wanted to live like that. And there's only so many times that you can fit that into like 90 minutes. It's enjoyable, but it's not particularly informative. It's that's it. There's no text really to add to simply observing this again. And that's it. It's a retrospective and nothing more. But having said that, it's an enjoyable retrospective. So fair, I guess. Yeah. And what more are you going to get out of that era? It was a very shallow era. We allowed Fred Durst to have a career. I mean, come on. Remember Fred Durst had a sex tape? Remember when that was a thing?
Yeah. It just seemed it was way more celebrity sex tapes and celebrities that you kind of wanted to imagine just didn't exist.
Yeah, I remember that. But my girlfriend at the time was really into that Paris Hilton sex tape, but... No, but she doesn't.
Was your girlfriend at the time Paris Hilton?
No, she wasn't. And also, she doesn't listen to this show, so I'm kind of okay saying that. So we're good. So, is there film news?
There is. However, I just want to do that sweet top 5.
Fair enough. You know what? Here we go.
Number 5.
Ocean's 4 plus Ocean's 4 equals
Ocean's 8. Ocean's Ocho.
Maths, ladies and gentlemen, we are embedding maths.
We are on ESPN the Ocho. They will not be able to see Cotton. How weird is that to remember that Jason...
is it in Dodgeball?
Is it Jason Bateman? Jason Bateman's in
Jason
Dodgeball.
Bateman, yeah.
I forget every time. Anyway, it's on Now TV all the time. So yeah, Ocean's 8, which is fun. That's, I think...
Yeah, it's enjoyable.
Now, this is the thing. So I got to see Ant-Man last night. I got to see Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, did you?
Did I? Yeah.
Did not realise.
All right, we're going to have a chat about that because I need to out Case because it's a hilarious story. We'll do that in podcast sections. I saw Ant-Man, and that's the thing, because the first Ant-Man movie had been that heist comedy, and it was refreshing because we simply don't do heist movies anymore.
We've had a load of them recently.
Well, recently, yes, but like we just, it's been like a dormant market for a while. It's kind of like the musical was. There's just that period where there are no heist movies, and then Ocean's 11 comes along and revitalises it, and once a year you get a heist movie. This is this year's, and it's fun, and there's a lot of girls in the cast, and they're all really fun. And I like Helena Bonham Carter and Kate Blanchett very much.
Because they were having fun.
Because they're fun and they're having fun. And that's it.
Hey, you can only say fun like 5 times before you just become Jimmy Fallon.
That's true. Oh, yeah, and run a sketch. But here's a needless game for 10 minutes.
And I'm gonna laugh at it for no reason and do this.
Yeah.
I'm just going to clap.
Thank you for being here. Shut up, Jimmy. Anyway, let's stop slagging off other hosts, because I feel like you could turn that back on us so easily. But yeah.
No, we have no flaws apart from my addiction to Skittles.
You're on Skittles. I'm a Pinot dude, but still. But yeah, so you had fun with this, didn't you?
I liked
had a good
it.
time?
Yeah, it was okay.
This is the thing. You're going to watch this. You're never going to think, I need to own it the minute it hits Blu-ray. It's not that movie.
No, well, I don't subscribe to physical media anymore.
That's true. I live in 2018. But other than that, though, you do sit and think, like, I look forward to watching that again. Maybe a Saturday afternoon over lunch.
Yeah.
You know, have a drink and just kick back and enjoy it for 2 hours.
If it's on Netflix.
Minutes.
Yeah.
And you know what? It works perfectly as that. But then again, didn't Ocean's 11 do the same damn thing? So it comes from a good pedigree. You know,
I definitely enjoyed 11 more.
I definitely enjoyed 11 more, but having said that, 11 did not have Kate Blanchett in her Loki suit.
So basically, you just want to see Ocean's Blanchett.
I want Ocean's Blanchett. Yeah, exactly. I would watch that.
Ocean's Kate.
Yeah. Screw Ocean's 9. I want Ocean's Kate. Yeah, exactly. So Ocean's 8,
what we're going to call this from now on.
Yeah, I'm in, totally in. So, do we have a tweet, sir?
Yes, at It's Jesse Lopez says, I just watched hashtag Ocean's 8, and all I have to say is, wow. 2 exclamation marks. That's someone who has never seen the Earth's sun before.
Number 4.
The 4th Purge film, but it's called The First Purge.
The 4th First Purge.
The 4th First Purge. So the 41st Purge.
The 41st. I like that. That's the title. Yes. Motion agreed. That is happening. It is 41st Purge. Yes. You saw this the other day, didn't you? You had a good time with this.
I always enjoy the Purge films, but I feel like I've enjoyed this one more than any of them.
It's got more, I feel like it's got more weight to it, actually.
Just kind of
strange way.
More to say, and it was. I never thought that I needed to know how it all began, and now that I know, I'm like, yeah, because you can see it happening. You can see that third political party, that really far right one.
I know. Did you have that moment as well when they mentioned and then the National Rifle Association sponsored them, and you're like, of course they did. Of course, I think everyone did.
Everyone throws up one hand and be like, of course
they did. Yeah, naturally, as you do.
Yeah, naturally.
Do you think that the added weight that comes with this new one, the fact that it is weightier than the previous 3, do you think that is because of the political satire that it's now allowed to get away with because of our time?
I think so, yeah. But we're now in that weird mirror parallel world, aren't we? Where
bizarre world.
Yeah. Where what has happened this week, it can't be replicated on a film because it's so
bizarre,
just so weird.
But it's a fun movie though, and you know, there's bloodshed and carnage, and you know, a good moral message for everyone to enjoy.
I mean, I feel like we are going to get a 5th Purge.
No, we're totally getting the second Purge.
we get
50-second purge. We get the 50 seconds.
we find out that the new founding fathers have actually been hacked by Russia.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
you find that out.
The purge is a Russian creation.
Yeah. The purge colon Ruskies
The purge-ski. Do you know what? I actually think as well they would do that and actually call it the purge-ski. They are not.
Definitely.
They're not scared anymore about being really on the nose about this stuff.
No, but I had a really good time with it.
So, has anyone tweeted?
Someone has tweeted.
Go.
At Kate Kai?
Fair.
Caitlin Lewis.
Caitlin Lewis?
If you didn't feel if you didn't feel some type of way after watching the first Purge, then you didn't get the message.
I felt some kind of way. Did you feel some kind of way?
I definitely felt some kind of way. I felt the message.
No.
It was like my name was Grandmaster Flash. I felt the message so hard.
Number 3.
Life finds a way.
Jurassic Kingdom, whatever it's called.
There's something exhausting about Jurassic World, isn't it? In that way that Deadpool 2 was a little bit exhausting. It's like, I really don't want to have to talk about it. It's fine.
What am I saying
it's
about
fine. I enjoyed it. It was fine.
There's hardly any Goldblum.
Yeah. I want more Goldblum in my
I still
life.
don't think there's any chemistry between Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt. The new characters were fine. It was fun seeing Buffalo Bill.
Yeah, that's always fun.
That was good.
Yeah, I mean he's one of the movie's 9 villains.
Yes,
This movie keeps whipping villains.
I don't know
so
why
weird.
Rafe Spall is now his go-to British villain. I really, really like Rafe Spall, but I don't.
Tim's too old now. You see, that's what it is.
And also he's an American guy, so he's an American guy. But that being said, I really like the direction of it. I like that the ending is just set in a big house. I kind of enjoyed that.
That gothic style, isn't it? I really like that, yeah.
Spanish gothic horror film. I really kind of dug that. I like the big bad dinosaur. I like that it's not big.
The Indoraptor? Indoraptor, yeah. Which really does sound like the Sundance Velociraptor, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sundance Velociraptor.
Redford's creation. But I think great director, but I think wrong movie for him. I think.
Well, he was going to do the first one.
I think if he'd done Jurassic World, I think we'd be having a very different conversation about the sequel. But has anybody tweeted us one way or the other?
Yes, someone has.
Go for it.
Iggy Azalea,
Fair. Yep.
who is some kind of pop sensation.
Some pop songstress. I'm not familiar with her work.
She has
gone missing in Kingsman.
She has musical creations on the Hit Parade.
Fair.
She says, did you know that Jessica Chastain does not star in Jurassic World? I only just found that out today.
Well, you know what? I have only just discovered this as well. Thank you, Iggy. Thank you.
Society is
Number 2.
Die Hard on fire.
Which is it, isn't it? That's it. You just go Die Hard on Fire.
Die Hard on
I got
Fire.
nothing to offer other than it's Die Hard on Fire. The Rock's in it. There's no Hans Gruber.
between a Die Hard and a rock place.
Oh, that is terrible.
A rock and a Die Hard place.
We had fun with it though, didn't we? We had a good
I had
time.
a great time.
It was like 100 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, one of its last lines is basically the last line in San Andreas, which cracked us up.
Yeah, and we actually jokingly guessed it like 10 seconds earlier. In fact, we did that twice, didn't we? Wasn't there something else?
Yeah, it was something else.
It's a Geostorm Chromebook reference, wasn't it? You can't just turn it off and on again. It's not a Chromebook. And Geostorm's on Now TV a lot at the minute. And I kind of feel like we weren't charitable enough with that movie. It's amazing. It should be seen by more people.
Yeah.
Also, we might actually need to send Jared Butler to space. Anyway, so Skyscraper, The Rock's a lot of fun. What's his name? Pornstache? Who am I thinking?
Pornstache is in it for a bit, yeah.
Is that Pablo Schreiber?
Pablo Schreiber.
Pablo Schreiber. He's a lot of fun.
Who is Liv Schreiber's cousin? Or?
Is he?
Yeah, they are related.
Is this a Theroux thing?
Do you know who I found out about today? You probably already knew this.
Go on.
Do you know Beanie Feldstein?
No. Not at all.
You do, from Lady Bird and...
Oh, yeah, okay, now that you say it, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, sorry, I feel like a sorry.
Her brother is Jonah Hill.
Oh, I did know that. Yes, I knew that because she's in Bad Neighbours, the sequel. She's in the sequel to Bad Neighbours.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Is that I think he's somewhere along the line. He's produced one of her movies. That's how I know. I mean, other than the fact that she clearly looks like Jonah Hill.
She does. And now that I know it, it's just like how did I not know it?
In that way, that I look like my sister. My sister looks like me in drag.
Right. That's a compliment for someone, but I don't know who.
You know, someone in a pub once, who's a friend of my sister, said to me, "You look like your sister in drag," and I had to respond with, "I think you mean she looks like me in drag." And that's a person who doesn't get how drag works.
No.
But anyway, Jonah Hill has a sister. Skyscraper's a lot of fun. Has anyone tweeted?
Someone has.
Go.
At Sorta Bad says...
It's not really bad, just sort of bad.
Oh, right, okay. This is a really great one, actually. So it's got like an action.
Okay.
So I've got to whisper this. So it says,
go.
whispering to date while watching Skyscraper when the skyscraper first appears on the screen. That's the skyscraper.
Epic.
Number 1.
Incredibles 2.
Did you enjoy?
I did.
You loved, didn't you?
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
It's a lot of fun, isn't it? And I think it's a better sequel than we really thought it was going to be.
No, I thought it was going to be better.
Did you really think it was going to be better than this?
Yeah.
Not
to say that I didn't really like it, because I did.
I think it winds up on the Toy Story scale, whereas I expected it to end up on the Finding Dory Cars 2 scale.
Okay.
And in that same way that I never want them to do a sequel
Are
to
you putting Cars 2 and Finding Dory together? Because I definitely would not.
No. I was being very broad. I was being very dismissive. That is wrong. I'm sorry. Let's call it. Screw it. Let's just call it the Finding Dory scale.
Because there's the Monsters University.
Yes, Monsters University scale. The Finding Dory Monsters University scale. There we are. And I would put it on there, but I think actually it skews more on the Toy Story 2 scale.
I think it's better than both sequels.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as good as the Toy Story sequels. Mm-hmm. I think because Incredibles is so incredible.
You got to do it, don't you? Yeah. You got to say it every goddamn time.
Definitely. I think this was the best that we were ever going to get.
Absolutely.
So I'm fine with that.
Did you think, as well, when you saw it, because I deliberately didn't tell you certain things about the plot, for instance, there is a very, very prominent #MeToo element to Incredibles 2, to the feminist credentials of it.
All over it.
Did you think, because I had this thought watching it, that actually it's so weird that this kind of saw that coming. It had no earthly way of knowing it was coming. It was written years ahead of it coming, and it seems to get it brilliantly.
I just want to watch Willy Wonka now. You just had no earthly way of knowing.
Yes, I often inspire people to think of Gene Wilder. That's usually my curse. But
way the boat is going.
I said good day. Anyway. But no, I think Incredibles 2 has a lot more to say than you think it does. I don't think even the first movie has as much to say in that sense.
It's got lots to say about like a family dynamic. And the mum being the one going off and earning the bacon, and I thought that was really great.
I thought going from the way that first movie was, which was basically frustrated husband, the movie, to, frustrated housewife, the movie, I thought that was a nice shift. And I thought the way they did it, I thought the way that it all lined up, the way that they'd utilised Jack, and the way they utilised Edna, and I love Edna to bits. I will watch an entire movie of just Edna babysitting the baby. I thought that was all really good. I had a great time with it. So, has anyone tweeted?
Yes, they have.
Okay.
I don't know what we're saying yet because I've lost it on my phone.
You're loading. You're fine. Don't worry. I put you on the spot. It's fair.
Right, I'm ready.
Okay, go.
At Ricky.
Ricky?
Yeah.
Go.
It's Ricky with an A and then 3 Ys.
Fair.
Says, I'm convinced that Jack can defeat Thanos. Probably.
Yeah, well, that's what crossovers are all about.
With the latest film news and reviews. This is Offscreen, the on-screen radio show.
And we're back in the park. So, Mr. Allen, where are we going to head next? Where's next on our agenda?
To the Receptionist, whoever that is.
Okay, so we've got 3 reviews we need to get through in vaguely decent time, I would say. So, The Receptionist, which is the latest film by Jenny Liu, I think her name is, who is a London-based Chinese filmmaker. I met her briefly the other night, actually.
Okay.
In a very strict... She was at MK3D, so I met her very fleetingly in the green room afterwards. But Jenny Liu's made this film that is effectively... It's set in London. It stars... oh my God, I can't remember.
Josh Whitehouse?
No, the actual star is Shang Chen?
Oh.
Shang-Chi.
I just looked at the first person on the IMDb.
Whom I also met, strangely. I met the actress and the director. The story is, she is in a relationship with an up-and-coming architect, who is Josh Whitehouse, as you pointed out. She still needs to make her own money. She winds up taking it... This is set, by the way, during the 2008 recession, when the recession hit and when the bubble burst, as it was, the financial collapse. She takes a job as the receptionist, not just a clever title, for an illegal massage parlour. So... you can kind of imagine the neon-soaked visual aesthetic that we're going to be working with here. And, it bears a resemblance. This is a Jennifer Love Hewitt series at the minute, just finished, called The Client List. That's kind of similar.
Oh, right.
There's shades of Secret Diary of a Call Girl in there. But, of course, this is going for much more art house, dramatic kind of affair. And it really lands. It's a really powerful film. It's a really dramatic, really moving film. A lot of that has to do with her performance. I think the performance at the centre of it is absolutely terrific. But I think Jenny Liu as a director, she has something to say. And I think the way in which she frames everything, the way in which she brings it to life, even when you're not particularly paying attention to it, even when you're involved in the minutiae of the character kind of thing, you're not really thinking about the film, she still really delivers. I think it's a terrific film. Not going to be a terrifically wide release. I think, for instance, you will find this at your local Curzon or Art House Cinema. I think you'll find it there. But if you can see it, absolutely do. It's a tidy 100 minutes. Doesn't outstay its welcome. It really lands. It really works. Do check it out. Absolutely worth seeing. So next, what have we got? We've got, I believe, it's Dhadak next.
Yeah, it is.
Right, okay, Dhadak. I really like Dhadak. So Dhadak is notable for you and I because it's a Bollywood film and we so rarely get to review Bollywood films.
I love Bollywood films, man.
I know! They're always so good.
Yeah.
And this
so entertaining.
Well, that's the thing as well. You say it, so entertaining. That's the thing about Bollywood films, isn't it? They know their tone. They know the sensibility they're going for, they get there very quickly and they stay there. And Dhadak is very much one of those. Dhadak is a movie, I would describe it as basically being kind of a Romeo and Juliet kind of a tale, but classically Bollywood. There's a minor musical element to it, but I think for the most part it plays as a sort of straight drama with Bollywood sensibilities. The idea is that you've got the young boy, the Romeo figure, who is the son of a local small restaurant owner who falls head over heels in love with the daughter of the corrupt town political figure, not mayor, but sort of like a town congressman kind of a thing, but he's blatantly corrupt. He's depicted like Boise from Only Fools and Horses, and
Boise,
yeah, very sleazy, very OTT, and it becomes this sort of romantic story between the two. And where might it go? I have issues with it as a film. I enjoyed it for the most part, but I do think that every now and again it likes to play with its formula a little bit too much. It likes to be like, okay, well now we're going to see what happens if we take it into this terrain. It doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. The ending in particular takes it into a whole different genre of movie. And you're just like, well, that just ruined it. But I was enjoying that. I mean, it's already, it's just over 2.25 hours long, because Bollywood film, they're usually 2.5. Usually 2.5 hours with an intermission, sort of a 10-minute intermission built in. This is like just under 2:20, over 2.25, thereabouts. And you do feel like it takes far too many chances with its own tone. Having said that, Janvi Kapoor and Ishan Khatter, oh my God, I finally got them right on the first try. For the first time, my God. I think both really great performers. I thought really likeable performers. I think they sell the Romeo and Juliet aspect of it really well. I thought, the whole thing, they play it with this. It plays almost like a live-action Disney adaptation of Aladdin, but made by Bollywood.
I'd watch that.
And
I would watch that all day long.
Yeah. You absolutely get, and you get that whole Aladdin falls for Jasmine element because Janvi Kapoor is so just immediately lovable that the minute she turns up on screen, you're like, I love you, please marry me. It's one of those performances like, be in every film ever. I want to see no other actors who aren't you, please. Thank you. Yeah. And it has
more
very
of that,
much
less of everything else.
Yeah. Down with this sort of thing. To everything else, I want to watch you forever. Really captivating, instantly lovable performer. But his performance as well has enough of that Aladdin-y charm in it. I would argue, though, that he, rather than she, falls more victim to the film's tonal whims. Having said that, though, I did really enjoy it. I really did. I think the ending ruined it slightly, but I did enjoy it. I had a great time with it. So, next on the list.
Last one.
What have we got? What have we got? It's the Melissa George thing. It's the Australian drama with the burlesque.
I'm going to tell you exactly what it is.
Go on, what is it?
Just give me a second to look at it. The Butterfly Tree.
The Butterfly Tree. That's the one. Okay, so just right. Full disclosure on this. If you pitch me a movie that Melissa George is a burlesque dancer on roller skates, I'm pretty easily in for that. I'm done. You've got my money, right? Okay. First and foremost, this is written and directed by Priscilla Cameron. It is, I would describe it as an Australian art house drama, and it stars Melissa George, formerly of Home and Away and Alias, and what was that? The Limey. That Steven Soderbergh movie with and Mulholland Drive. I'm going to stop mentioning Melissa George movies because
you know a lot of them.
I'm in love with Melissa George. It's an ongoing love affair that's lasted 25 years.
She's in 30 Days of Night. I remember that now.
She was Josh Hartnett's missus, wasn't she? Mm-hmm. And then weirdly gets replaced for the direct-to-DVD sequel. Who saw that coming? But did you ever see that? 30 Days of Night?
I don't
Dark
think I did,
Days
no.
or something like that? Dead Days, Dark Days, something like that. There is a sequel. Anyway. So, this stars Melissa George as Evelyn. She is an ex-burlesque queen. She basically... Do you remember that Simpsons episode where Bart gets the job working for the burlesque house?
Of course I do.
Right, imagine that with Ed Oxenbould from Alexander and the Terrible Horrible...
Maison Derriere.
Thank you, yes. So, Ed Oxenbould from The Visit is Bart Simpson. And in this version, Homer falls for the burlesque dancer as well, but there's no Marge.
Right.
That's the best way to describe it. Really gripping film. I loved how well it explored that first love aspect. You know, that element of that you're 12 years old, you will never be with this woman. It is unrealistic. But she looks and sounds like Melissa George. So it's absolutely understandable, and every man watching this is sat there on the edge of his seat going, we all had that one great love when we were 12. I'm not
Melissa George.
I'm not crying at all. And it has that feeling. It's really well captured, really well shot, and I think the way that it delves a little bit into fantasy, and it goes with almost Terry Gilliam-like visuals, like very fleetingly, for about 30 seconds here and there, it goes into Terry Gilliam territory, and this sort of elevated out-of-body experience. And I really love it. I love the way they've captured the burlesque element and the way Melissa George plays up to it. And I think genuinely great role for Melissa George, great role for Ed Oxenbould as well. And I think Ewan Leslie, who plays his father, also quite good. Great movie, really, really good. Not quite The Graduate, which you kind of thought it was going to be going. I'll be honest with you, I got pitched this as erotic coming-of-age drama starring Melissa George.
And you were like, I'm in.
My response was, hold my beer. Because hold my gin sounds so much less cool. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought this was a really great movie.
With the latest film news and reviews, this is Offscreen, the on-screen radio show.
And we're back for one last ride, Mr. Allen.
Hello.
So, have you got a piece of film news for me? Take us to the bridge.
Yeah. So we spoke a while ago that Scarlett Johansson kind of came under some fire for accepting a job role.
Ghost in the Shell.
2.
Okay, that makes absolute sense, yes.
two Ghost, 2 Shell.
2 Ghost, 2 Shell. Yeah, I'd absolutely watch that movie.
Yeah, actually, this new one was going to be reunited with the director of that film.
Really?
It's kind of funny. But,
hang on, Rupert Sanders? Is it Rupert Sanders?
Yeah.
Rupert Sanders actually showed up to work twice. That's never happened.
Yeah, and...
Doesn't he usually just quit films?
And didn't have sex with the lead and cause a big
Wait,
affair and stuff.
hang on. He showed up and didn't bone anyone.
was a good...
This sounds ludicrous. You're making this up.
This is not Rupert Sanders, and we all know.
This is not the Snow White and the Huntsman director we all knew and loved.
They were going to do a film called Rub and Tug, where she was going to be playing a trans man. That did not go down very well.
Yeah, it turns out people are not big fans of Scarlett Johansson capitalising on their casting.
No.
Yeah. Funny that.
It's weird, because, like, she is obviously such a big name, but she can get projects greenlit just on her name.
It's true. I think if she wanted to play Kavanjane Wallace, she presumably could.
She could.
Well, I mean, they'd allow her to. Just there would be a backlash.
Obviously, I would rather see Kavanjane Wallace playing Scarlett Johansson.
That absolutely, yes. I would rather see the Scarlett Johansson story brought to life by Kavanjane Wallace. Only for the Ghost World era, just to see who they got to be Thora Birch. But still,
Kavanjane Wallace as well. She can do a dual role.
Absolutely, I could totally see that.
We only talk about her so much just because we love saying her name.
Oh, totally.
Kavanjane.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, it is.
Like, even if you don't like Mads Mikkelsen as an actor, it's just nice to say Mads Mikkelsen.
That's a Lethal Weapon team-up you want to see, isn't it?
That's a fun name to say, Francisco.
Rub and Tug was going to be the film that we were going to be in. Creating together. She is gone. She's exited the film, and because she's left the film over the casting controversy, the film is pretty much dead now. She's a bit of a shame because it was an interesting story.
Yeah, it had intrigue, didn't it? Yeah.
But it's just a shame that, like, just because she's gone means that film is gone as well. Instead of just getting a trans actor.
Yeah, to which you just think, like, really nobody just wanted to just make a couple of calls and attempt to find someone. Yeah. Oh, okay, we're just going to go with ScarJo. Okay, fine. But, it'll-dee, that's the film industry. So, speaking of the film industry, final review of the week.
Is a film.
Shocking. Made of celluloid. And actors.
No, it's not.
with cuts and scenes and things.
Yeah, and directions.
It stars Jodie Foster.
Oh, she's in it, yeah. She's been in a few things.
Hotel Artemis.
Yeah.
Right, so imagine John Wick's world. Imagine what a hospital would be like in John Wick's world.
So, like, next to the hotel.
Next to the hotel, it's another hotel. And you check in.
But is it a hotel?
But it's got rules. And, it's got rules, and you get in that way that John Wick has the continental rules.
Yes.
Right, so...
Can't kill anyone on hotel grounds.
Exactly. So, bungled robbery goes wrong. Sterling K. Brown checks in with his injured brother. Checks into the hotel, which is run by Jodie Foster. Also in the hotel are Charlie Day and Sophia Botella as alternative hitmen, or hit women, or hit people.
Hit persons.
And then it turns out that the criminal underworld's major boss, whose bit of casting I'm not going to spoil for you, although the credits do, and IMDb will do this in a second, gets injured and turns up, and all hell breaks loose. Here's a clip.
Hey, are we safe in here from doomsday? I mean, are these walls fortified with anything? Those people are animals.
I just want clean water.
Well, then they can get a job and pay for water like the rest of us. You don't like that? You one of those bleeding heart types? Well, hey, cops kill poor people kill cops. That's the circle of life. Hakuna Matata.
Easy for the robots, swimming in your Alta Canal. Take one in an hour, and then after that you can go.
All right. Hey, my TV's broken. I want to watch the riots.
Has an old one in the game room. It's hardwired. It should be working.
Hey, hang on. You want me to go out there with the criminals?
Hakuna Matata, buddy.
Hang on, so it's not a spoiler?
Not at all. He's all over marketing.
Okay, so Jeff Goldblum is the Wolf King.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Fair, okay. He's very good in it. Good. Although he's just playing Jeff Goldblum. Jodie Foster's probably the takeaway star. Sterling K. Brown, exactly as fun as you think he's going to be. This feels like a spin-off to John Wick. It's not. It does weirdly seem to come from the same studio.
Yeah,
and has
it
the same
could be
look.
the same world.
But I feel like if you told me after the fact, like if they decided to retroactively make this, you could absolutely do that. That would totally work. I had fun with it. I don't think it lent on its bloodthirsty, violent credentials quite as well as it should have in that John Wicky kind of way. But other than that, it works. It has a sort of Smoking Aces kind of a feel to it. Like if you remember that, like
yeah.
I mean, more Smoking Aces than the damn sequel, but, you know. I had a lot of fun with it. Charlie Day is a bit trying in it, because I think he's a bit of an annoyance. He's depicted as being a bit of an annoyance. But, Jodie Foster, a lot of fun. Love Sterling K. Brown. I'll watch Sophia Botella in anything. Hell, I've even seen the Mummy remake. But, more than once.
Yeah.
That's how much I like Sophia Botella. But
You just fast forward over Russell Crowe bits.
Yeah. that whole we are secret keepers kind of nonsense. We are S.H.I.E.L.D., but not actual S.H.I.E.L.D.
Not S.H.I.E.L.D.
Not
We can't say
no.
S.H.I.E.L.D. for legal reasons.
We are S.H.I.E.L.D. Copyright pending. That's how it works. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. Go and see it, but see it knowing that you're watching a pretty disposable 90-minute actioner. Do you remember that one with Salma Hayek? Everly?
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
Kind of like that. Not brilliant.
And that in itself was like the Colombiana.
Yeah, Colombiana, another one, or The Losers, or those kind of, that crop of action films we've had the last sort of 7-8 years. One of those, but it's one of the more disposable hour and a half ones. You'd be perfect. When you're seeing two films and you've got that awkward hour and 40-minute break in between them, rather than going for the Five Guys like you normally do, just see this.
It's fine as well.
It's fine. Yeah, it's all good. It's not film of the week. I'm not going to lie. But yeah,
Is it the first Purge again?
I mean, clearly it's always the first Purge. The First Purge is a great movie. I had a lot of fun with it. I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, I think I'm going to come away from this week and think it's The Receptionist or The Butterfly Tree, but I'm aware that they are very artsy films. They are very art house films.
Yeah, I'm not going to see those. I would like to, but
You and Cass aren't going to be at the box office queue, on Saturday night, thinking I really want to see that moving erotic Melissa George drama.
I book all my films online, so I can't remember the last time I was in a box office queue. When's the last time I saw a box office, actually? In a cinema?
We stood at one last week when we saw Skyscraper. Technically a concession
That's
counter.
a concession counter, right?
But they're the same diff now. It's 2018.
They are now, yeah.
Everything's everything now.
And if I wasn't with you, I would have just booked it online.
Probably, yeah, I remember. I've literally seen you book tickets. Yeah. But yeah, so go and see The Receptionist. That's actually genuinely intriguing. Go and see The Butterfly Tree. I enjoyed that. Hotel Artemis is a bit of fun. But just whatever you do, don't see Escape Plan 2: Hades starring 50 Cent. Don't see that at all. It's terrible. It's rubbish. You could do better. Don't watch it.
Would you go see Escape Plan 2 Hades :
Oh, I mean, if it's Hades : whole different ballgame.
Definitely.
Don't tease me, man.
Do not tease the colon.
Do not tease the colon. Anyway, let's talk about next week, because we've got some really intriguing stuff next week. We've got Capote next week. We've got Apostasy next week. We've got Iceman next week. Tracking Edith is next week. Hotel Transylvania 3, A Monster Vacation.
Yes.
Or, as I'm going to call it, Hotel Transylvania 3, Chipwrecked, is out next week.
Hotel Transylvania 3, Artemis.
Exactly. That is out next week. And last but by no means least, Mission Impossible Fallout, which I think we've both been told is probably the greatest action movie ever at some point.
Yeah, at least like 2 times this week.
Probably, yeah. That's about right. So, in the meanwhile, that's all to come and more next week off screen. This has been a Candy Store production for On Screen. I've been Bangkok.
I've been the Receptionist.
And we'll be back.
Just show me the way to get out of here, and I'll be on my way.
You've been listening to Off Screen. For more news and reviews, visit onscreenfilm.com.
Podcast extras.
So, we've got to talk film news. We've got to do all this fun that we do. And so, it's just been a very intriguing week. And we need to talk about Dune. We do.
Yes, we do.
we do. Can I just ask, first of all, it's the 25th anniversary this year of Demolition Man. There is a connective tissue between what I'm saying. Don't worry. If you follow me in a circular motion, as Kevin Spacey said, I will get to a point.
You don't want to do anything that Kevin Spacey said. You'll end up in either jail or therapy.
When he talks about the motions he wants to take, I don't listen. You remember Demolition Man? There's that whole thing about now every restaurant is Taco Bell.
Taco Bell, yeah.
It's the 25th anniversary this year. They're opening that Taco Bell at San Diego Comic-Con. I do think now that we have Taco Bell in the UK, we can finally... I think we deserve an edit. We deserve the original edit of Demolition Man back.
Now that Taco Bells are so omnipresent in this country.
Yeah, exactly. Taco
We've got
Bell's
3 of them in Sheffield.
Sheffield has about 3 or 4 of them, doesn't it? Yeah, like Exall Road and yeah.
There's the one at Sense Entertainment and...
Oh God, there's one at Sense Entertainment. I had somehow forgotten that.
Yeah, but it's dangerously close to my house.
Yes, I know. Yeah. Well, they've just opened a Skechers store next to my house, so I'm...
Have they?
Yeah, did you not know this?
So basically, we were like, right, let's look where our target audience is and put one right next to its house.
Our target audience. People who live across the church, that live across the road from the church and hate everyone who goes there for taking their parking spots, but wear a lot of blazers and Skechers. Let's open blazer stores and Skechers stores and an M&S food. So that's now open next to my house.
Get in.
Complete with a drive-through Costa. It's like they're begging me to just live there. I don't like my house as it is. I might just set up shop and move in there. But no, so it turns out that Timothée Chalamet has been offered a role in Dune. He's been offered Paul Atreides, the Carl McLachlan role.
Yeah.
Because my only knowledge of Dune, I'll confess this now, before the movie's out, I have never read Dune.
I've never read it. I've seen the David Lynch one.
You see it. I've seen it. I don't remember it. I've seen bits of it that I do remember. My knowledge of Dune, largely...
is Sting.
No, not even that. My knowledge largely comes from the PC game in the early 90s. You used to play with a mouse. That game, that is my knowledge of Dune. Which I'm told is a more faithful adaptation. But, yeah. So, Timothée Chalamet is going to be in it. He's going to be Paul Atreides, the central character. Carl McLachlan played him in, was it 80... When was
something?
82?
Early 80s. Very early 80s.
He's going to play that. That's fine.
Cool.
Kind of see that casting happening. And also, to quote Demolition Man, now all restaurants are Taco Bell. By 2032, when Demolition Man is set... all films will be Timothée Chalamet.
I don't get this because
stop pretending.
He's not been in that many things.
Do you remember when Oscar season was going on? He was in like 3 films. He was in like 3 of the Oscar crop.
Yeah.
And you were just like, wow, okay, this kid is a thing, apparently. Fair.
Yeah, he was in Call Me By Your Peach.
Call Me By Your Peach, indeed. Yes.
Lady Peach.
Lady Peach.
Well,
I like that.
Just
I like that
sometimes.
Yeah.
Like Lucas Hedges was like last year. He was in like
he was, wasn't he? Yeah.
2 or 3 different things.
And then he turned up in Lady Peach.
Yeah, and also he's in 3 Billboards.
Oh God, he is. Yes.
So either Timothée Chalamet or Lucas Hedges.
Good lord.
Lucas Hedges is in a film called Boy Erased. I don't know if you have heard about
That's
this.
on the way out. Is that the Nicole Kidman one?
It's Nicole Kidman, Russell Naturally Crowe.
Fair.
And it's written and directed by Joel Edgerton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the trailer dropped for it the other day. Looks very interesting.
I have a bit of film news that you might enjoy.
All right.
This is fresh off the presses as well. This is literally popped up on the screen in front of me. So they've been doing press interviews about Sony's Spider-Verse, as they're calling it.
Oh yeah.
And
is this the Venom one?
Well, I mean that's the first chapter, isn't it? Is the Venom one, and then we're going to get
Silver and Sable.
Silver and Black,
yeah.
Silver and Black, and then we're going to get
the vampire one.
Morbius, and then whatever that Spike Lee one was.
Oh, that sounded really cool, actually.
Yeah, that sounded pretty interesting.
Well, like he looks and it's himself.
It's his dead body or something for the future, yeah. So, this alternative Spider-Verse, as it's sort of offhandedly being called, it's not the MCU, it's not Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, they can't use Spider-Man, but they have these movies with Spider-Man characters.
Yeah.
Now, in the case of Venom, obviously, you and I have had this conversation before. I take significant umbrage with Venom being a movie and it having nothing to do with Spider-Man because the character simply can't exist the way that he does if there's no Spider-Man, because even his physical appearance is meant to be the reflection of Spider-Man. Brian Michael Bendis. Are you familiar with Brian Michael Bendis?
I am indeed.
Okay, so the comic writer Brian Michael Bendis, he's dipped his toes into the multimedia world in the last few years. He's produced a couple of shows, things like that. He has been interviewed about it, and this is the quote. Okay. I happen to have heard some of the plans that have not been made public. You're asking if they're cool? I thought they were very cool. Fans won't be annoyed with what they're doing. The people who grew up wanting these movies are now making them, and not just a crappy Spider-Man movie. A really good Spider-Man movie. Everyone's aiming high. Now...
Right.
Yeah, okay, that's a bit...
So that's what we're saying about Venom.
No, he's saying this about the universe, that little cinematic universe that Sony are attempting to carve out, of which, what do they call it? Now, they had a term, didn't they? Like the alternative Marvel universe, or the adjunct MCU, or something like that? The off-center MCU?
So that's nice and catchy.
Yeah, the off-center MCU, something like that. The problem is that really does sound like a Trump statement, doesn't it? That sounds like a real hyperbole-ridden synopsis of what's going on. And I wish them the best.
Fake MCU.
Yeah, I wish them all the best for it. Like, I hope Venom's brilliant. I really do. I don't think for a second it will be. I don't think that's. I think the Mobius one, like, why? We already had Blade. What? Reboot Blade. If you want to do Mobius, reboot Blade and put him in there.
I want to have a Blade show.
Did you ever see that in the Blade show?
Yeah, I saw a bit of it, but I think it was a really good Blade show, but it's still yet to be made.
Yeah. Like Netflix style.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Who'd you get? Who's your Blade?
I don't know.
Because John Boyega wants Blade.
Obviously, yeah.
He really wants... Anthony Mackie wants Blade. Anthony Mackie's...
He's Falcon.
He's like, dude, you're Falcon. No, sorry, not allowed.
They both were good. I think you need to get a British guy. So John Boyega would be good.
John Boyega would, yeah.
I think if he properly beefed up that... is it Alfie Enoch?
That wasn't who else. I just had a thought. You're going to love this. Daniel Kaluuya. But of course, he's already technically in the Marvel universe.
He's already there.
But how good a Blade would he be, though?
Oh, man, it'd be awesome.
Because when that man does the piercing stare, that's an eyeball twitching stare.
Get him like some contacts as well.
Yeah. Oh man, that'd be so good. Look, John Boyega though.
Who else can we get?
Loved Boyega.
Lenny Henry.
Patterson Joseph.
Yeah. the man with a backwards name.
Who's his character in Peep Show? He's the boss. Johnson in Peep Show, yeah.
Consultius.
Oh man, I love Peep Show. But yeah, John Boyega I think would be really great played. But did you Mobius in that? Stop wasting these things on movies. It's just like, why?
Give us more shows.
Yeah. Give shows. They can be ongoing. They can be fun. But
they're not as like high risk.
Well, they're not. But I mean, having said that, I always thought it was weird that like Marvel did the whole Sony deal and then still put Spider-Man in movies when the more obvious answer was spend $100 million on a premium cable TV show about Spider-Man. It will last longer than the movie ever will. People will love it more. How fanatical are people about Game of Thrones? You know, imagine that fandom with Spider-Man.
But that's not saying that this Spider-Man is a failure.
No. I love it. Yeah. I love Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Homecoming, I think it's great.
I don't know if you could do this Spider-Man as a show.
No, but I think you still could do the same kind of inspiration.
Maybe, yeah.
Like the Ultimate Universe thing that they do in these the new movies, which I like. I like the he's now actually 15.
Yeah,
the element that's fun.
Yeah, it really works.
Anyway, so film news. What have we got? Do we have anything else? Let's see. Did you see we've got loads of sirens going off behind us today. I apologise.
There is loads, yeah.
Like it's like a bloodbath out there. It's somewhere in the city. Summer of Sam, that's what it is. But
it's always Spike Lee's fault.
It's always Spike Lee. Did we watched that Bohemian Rhapsody trailer before?
Yeah, we just watched it.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I still don't know how I feel about it. I want to be really excited, and I'm not yet, and I don't know why.
That's the thing, you've got to be down on it because you know what it could have been. You know, we could have had that Sacha Baron Cohen version.
Yeah.
But
if it was still Sacha Baron Cohen, I would be crazy excited.
You'd be in on it, wouldn't you? You'd be like, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But
and I think Rami Malek does look great. He just doesn't look like Freddy to me.
Do you not think? I feel like the teeth are a bit exaggerated. I feel like they are cartoonishly exaggerated.
Maybe that's what it is, yeah.
Maybe that is it. I do love his delivery of the line, there's only room for one hysterical queen.
One hysterical queen. Band. Yeah, that's really good.
That's because that's absolutely something Freddie Mercury would have said.
Yeah. You can imagine him saying that.
If it's not actually been documented, it's something he would.
Yeah.
Said. Do you ever watch documentaries? Have you ever watched documentaries about Freddie Mercury?
Yeah, I've watched a few, actually.
Like that man, that was a great interview subject.
Yeah.
Right there.
And how much he loved his cats.
Oh,
I love the cats are in the trailer.
Did you notice that shot as well? Yeah, when you're walking past all the... Yeah, love that.
Which is pretty amazing.
That's a good detail. You have to have that detail, I think. News that heartbroke me this week. And I'm not getting over this. So, Paramount... Who let's not mince words on Paramount. Paramount have a bit of a lack of franchises. You know, if you look at it, I think the only active ongoing franchise I think within Paramount is Mission Impossible. I think the Transformers universe is currently being retooled post Bumblebee, isn't it?
Yeah.
But they want a franchise. Who doesn't want a franchise? If you're in films, you want franchises.
They wanted G.I. Joe to be a franchise.
Of course they did, yeah. They tried that Hasbro shared universe thing
For a
with
while,
Mask, didn't they, and G.I. Joe? They even bought the rights to The Saint, which made me very happy. I'm a big fan of The Saint.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Yeah, and absolutely do that. Get James Purefoy. We'll talk. So they have a new franchise they think might work.
What is it?
I mean, this is basically printing your own money. I'll admit, like this clearly will make loads of money, huge bank. Whether or not it'll be any good, I can't tell you. But Paramount are rebooting the entire franchise of Rugrats.
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are. So we get a new TV series.
That's printing money.
That is, isn't it? How you could merchandise the hell out of that. Jeez. I'm surprised that Nickelodeon never did it way back when. Because
we had a conversation about 90s and nostalgia recently.
Yeah.
This is like the perfect way to capitalise on.
Oh, it kind of is. I mean, it's not Clarissa Explains It All, the reboot, but I'll take it. You get me a Clarissa reboot in which Melissa Joan Hart's the mum.
Yeah.
I'm in. Like, it's Halston Sage and Melissa Joan Hart is now her mum. I'm totally in on that. But yeah, so of course, does Paramount own Nickelodeon? Is that how?
I think so.
I think so. Yeah, because Nickelodeon now have the Turtles, and Turtles is a Paramount property, isn't it? And that's apparently getting rebooted. Like that.
It is.
They're doing a third one of those.
Is it going to be another sequel? Or we just reboot?
No,
I heard it was going to be another reboot. So.
No, not a clue. I mean, don't waste.
There's going to be no way to like differentiate it though. It's just going to feel like a third.
Hey, if you've got two cinematic franchises that have featured Megan Fox, you run with them. You run with them all you can.
And you run away from Megan Fox.
Nobody ever wanted Jennifer's Body sequel, that's all I'm saying. But yeah, so we get a new TV series of Rugrats, but we're also getting a cinematic effort.
A live-action one.
Live-action CG hybrid.
Oh, really? I didn't know it was going to be that. Right.
So the kids, the Rugrats themselves, will be the CG construction in a live-action movie.
No, that's going to be freaky.
Yes, it is.
That's going to be weird.
That's terrifying, isn't it?
That's really... Why? Why would they be cartoonish?
Well, not only that.
And why is the rest of the world not?
What do you do about Angelica?
Yeah,
because that was the whole thing. Because wasn't Angelica like 4 or 5 years older than the rest of the kids?
Yeah, well, yeah, she's like 5, I guess.
Yeah, like they're like 1 or 2, and she's 5 thereabouts, and yeah. I mean, I like the idea of a Rugrats film franchise. I mean, I loved the Rugrats movies when they existed in the 90s.
Went to Paris and stuff.
Yeah. Didn't they meet the Wild Thornberries at one point?
Yes, they
did. But this is just a bit like, why are you doing a live-action CG hype? Who asked for this?
Because it's not like the Rugrats are dogs or cars or anything. They are people. So why are you going to have... Like, presumably... Are the grown-ups going to be...
The grown-ups are going to be live action, like... Because clearly Breckin Meyer needs a job. But
why...
By the way, can I float you one? Right, you tell me, right, back in 2003, 2004, when there was a Garfield movie, right, Breckin Meyer...
I was wondering where Breckin Meyer was...
Yeah, Breckin Meyer was John, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Right, Steve Buscemi. That's all I'm saying. Steve Buscemi.
He's got the eyes.
As John in the Garfield movie.
Yeah.
That's the casting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Although, I would now accept Jason Bateman. I think either of those, that's perfect casting, isn't it?
We get Jason Bateman with Steve Buscemi's eyes.
Wasn't there a meme where someone they kept putting Steve Buscemi's eyes on like Scarlett Johansson
supermodels and
and you're like I'm scared by this in all the worst ways anyway. But so live action CG Rugrats,
I don't understand how that is going to work.
Dude, your child is going to be born into a world in which that's a movie.
I know. Get me a live action hybrid of our real monsters.
Ooh,
100%.
Oh, that I'm in on that.
That's what we want. That'd be amazing, in fact.
I mean, having said that, I like the idea of let's finally look at the Nickelodeon brand. Because, like you just pointed out about Real Monsters, there are a lot of properties in the Nickelodeon canon.
Loads.
They're just like, how are these not a thing? How is Hey Arnold? How's that not a thing?
Like a proper live action. Hey, you could do like your own little Rascals version, but with Hey Arnold characters. It'd be amazing.
I mean, all right, you need to CG him into it. CG a kid's head into a football.
Yeah, of course.
But, what was the other one? Rocko's Modern Life. I used to really like.
Rocko's Modern. That's one of my favourite shows ever.
Oh man, I love that.
Yeah,
with his ridiculous Hawaiian shirt.
And I think Wild Thornberries could come back.
absolutely. That had a couple movies, didn't it? A couple animated movies?
He had its own movie, and then we did the Rugrats
yeah.
crossover. Do you know what show I used to really, really dig on Nickelodeon, actually? The Jumanji show.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I thought he was really interesting looking.
There was a weird point around the turn of the century when I think Trouble was a TV station? Remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
And I remember it only for episodes of Hang Time. Hang Time and USA High, which I have a soft spot for. I'm not going to lie. Mary Beth Pepperton, yo. Anyway, I'm guessing Cassie was a fan of USA High. That seems like one of her things.
Hang Time.
And Hang Time.
She still refers to Auntie Anderson
as Teddy from Hang Time. Thank you. We have that in my house as well. Yeah, Teddy from Hang Time.
Every time we watch Blackish.
Yes, yeah. Blackish every time.
It's Teddy from Hang Time.
Yeah, Teddy from Hang Time. And for me, I'm like, no, he's the drive-in dude from Harold and Kumar.
Yeah.
Come on, Pookie, let's burn this mother down. But Trouble used to show things like that. She used to show The Mask. Remember The Mask had a TV series?
Yeah, I liked that, actually.
Like an animated show that ignored the one rule that series had, which was he could only become the Mask at night.
Yes.
Yeah. But in the series, who cares?
Yeah. There was loads of great shit. There was that, Freakazoid, those kind of shows.
God, yeah. Remember, there was a Dumb and Dumber series, wasn't there? Like, we had a thing about turning Jim Carrey movies into cartoons.
Yeah.
Like Ace Ventura has
Ace Ventura one, yeah.
Yeah. Like, Dumb and Dumber was just like Harry and Lloyd on a road trip all the time in the dog van. I never really watched it.
I just found a very small piece of glass in my shoe.
Oh, okay.
Which is not related to a film or anything.
You know what's really weird? I broke a wine glass this morning and cleaned it up, but that was in London. So, yeah. So
mystery of a travelling wine shard.
It's the bee under Gillian Anderson's collar in the X-Files movie.
Yeah.
You know that there's a point in the X-Files movie in which Gillian Anderson transports a bee from the heartland of America to Washington DC.
So
without noticing.
So she transports it from point A to
point B. Oh my God. I love you, man. I love you. One love, dog. Anyway, let's see what else is in the film. What is this? Apparently, there's a trailer doing the rounds at the minute for a movie starring Stanley Tucci and Matt Smith.
Oh, is this that Patient Zero?
Patient Zero,
I've not watched it
yeah.
yet. We should watch it after we stop talking.
Yeah, we should absolutely. The Rock is apparently the most successful movie star ever now, thanks entirely to social media.
Yeah.
Fair, I guess.
I mean, his social media game is on point.
It is on point.
As the kids say.
It really is. You say, as the kids say. It comes from the movie, what was it, The Night Before?
Yes.
It does. It's Anthony Mackie. My social media game is on point. You know? I'm trying to think what else we got. Oh, the Duncan Jones is going to adapt Rogue Trooper, which is a 2000 AD. I'm not. I remember. I read a lot of 2000 AD growing up. I was a big Judge Dredd fan. I wasn't overly familiar with Rogue Trooper. No. I mean, I've encountered it, but I don't know it. It's a blue-skinned immortal soldier, I think.
I believe that's correct.
Future War or something. I think what else now? We also had. Okay, that was. Bruce Willis. We've got to talk about Bruce Willis. Right.
What has he said?
Right. Just for dramatic effect, I'm going to light my cigarette as I break this news.
Do it right into the live mic.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it right now for dramatic effect. So, Bruce Willis did a comedy roast this last week.
Yeah, for Comedy Central.
Yeah. And, according to Bruce Willis, according to the man himself, by his own words and with no equivocation, Die Hard is not a Christmas film.
So we can't trust Bruce Willis on anything.
No, I'm done. I'm sorry. No.
What was Extraction?
I'm done. No, I'm done. I'm sorry. That's it. That's the end of my tether now. That's it. Yeah. I've stuck with Brucey through a lot. Okay, I have sat through Extraction.
Yes,
and I sat through that movie in which he fought Paul Gosselaar. I sat through that, and the one in which he fought Christopher Maloney.
Yeah,
I sat through
Marauders.
Yeah. I sat through 2 Die Hard sequels that didn't need to exist. Including one starring Jai Courtney.
You sound like Simon Amstel.
I mean, Jai Courtney, man. But no, I'm sorry. If you're telling me now, 20 years to the day of because isn't it we're like a week off the 20th anniversary, aren't we? It was a summer release, Die Hard.
Not 20th, surely 30th.
Hang on. 30th anniversary, yeah. To which you just think, like, no, you can't now tell all of us who have grown up our entire lives
watching it every Christmas.
Every Christmas. You can't now tell us it's not The Nightmare Before Christmas. You're not Henry Selick. Shut up.
Yeah. That's
it. That's what I'm going with. Well, sorry, it's affected me emotionally.
I can tell. What does he know?
But yeah. But yeah, no, Bruce Willis, who won't get out of bed for less than $2 million, because that's his day rate, isn't it?
Yes,
his day rate is $2 million a day. That's the famous thing. But
I can't believe people will still pay that to him.
Yep, apparently. Well, Len Wiseman, I think, is going to do it next.
Yes, he is. Yeah,
with Die Hard Forever or whatever it's called.
Is that going to be the one where we get a young John McClane?
Have you ever read the comic book?
No.
So I actually did read it. It's called Die Hard Year One. It's distributed by Boom Studios, who are a pretty decent-sized comic label. They do a lot of branded properties, for instance. They're a lot of like franchise things they put out comic versions of. They did a Die Hard comic, Die Hard Year One, which apparently is the original iteration of what we're now getting as Die Hard 6. And it is set in the 70s, around New York City, in the summer of Sam. During that heat wave, and it's John McClane he's a patrolman, and he accidentally comes across terrorists and has to take them down, like in the port, in the New York Harbour or whatever it was. And it's a decent comic. It's fine, I guess. It works because it's a comic, and you don't need to imagine someone being a young Bruce Willis.
Because someone's drawn him.
Because someone's drawn him with pictures and lines and shading and colours. You know, that wonderful thing. But unfortunately, in fact, I have film news related to this in a minute, actually. But they want to make this a movie. They want to make a sequel, and they want to basically split the comic books. The comic book is the 70s sequences. That'll be half the movie, and that will be flashback. But then they want John McClane now.
Things like bookend it.
I'm wondering if they're going to go down the route that was rumoured years ago. A couple of years ago, there was a rumour that the 30th or 35th anniversary of Die Hard or whatever was going to be met by a film called Die Hard Forever. Samuel L. Jackson would be back, and it involved them going to China. So this becomes believable very quickly.
Yeah. China money.
They went to... Oh, no, they went to Japan. Sorry, they went to Tokyo. They went to Tokyo to the new Nakatomi building for the anniversary of what had happened years earlier. And for some reason, Samuel L. Jackson was going along for the ride. Like, maybe he just needed a buddy in brocation, kind of thing. And that was the idea. The terrorists would take Nakatomi on the anniversary of Nakatomi.
Nakatomi.
Yep, knack it to me, baby. But,
I'll kind of watch that.
I'm wondering if that's the other half. I'm wondering if that rumour actually is the other half.
Maybe.
It's not unbelievable. And also, it would kind
of... But, how would we link all the 70s terrorist stuff to...
I don't know. Maybe it's his dad.
And then we've got to link it to Hans as well, because we all know that...
Everything's about Hans.
Everything's about Hans.
But, they dropped the ball on that, because, first of all, the rule was always, if it's an odd-numbered Die Hard movie, it's about the Grubers. And then, Good Day to Die Hard rolls around. No Grubers to be seen.
Not Gruber 1.
No. I mean, barely
I can't tell you the villain was...
barely a hottie teen college student Gennaro cameo in that one. But, wasn't it? Mary Elizabeth Winstead, that was it.
Oh, Mew.
Mew, no Mew in that one. But, he's a little bit.
Although Fantastic is the bad guy in number 4, and he's not too bad.
I actually like him as the villain. I like, we both like Oliver Fantastic, don't we?
Santa Clarita Diet has done wonders for his career.
Oh, God, he's so good in that, isn't he?
So good.
What was there was a bit of film news we missed. Oh, Frozen. We didn't talk about Frozen.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about Frozen.
So, because, of course, we've already mentioned him, Mr. Brown. Mr. Sterling K.
Sterling K.
Brown. I love that he has the K. There's something so badass about the K.
Yeah, but you know it's going to be like Kenneth or Keith.
It clearly is, isn't it? He's clearly going to be like Keith Brown.
Do you know what Billy D. Williams' full name is?
No, I do not. Is it Dennis? Is it William Dennis Williams?
No.
Please tell me that's...
It is William December Williams.
Why is that not his acting name?
I know. So he showed December to D.
That would be amazing. Billy December Williams.
I love his name is William Williams, first of all.
Oh, I know, that's great, isn't it?
William December Williams.
I've never been able to take Will.i.am seriously because I just refer to him as William.
William, yeah.
Or Bill. I feel like if you're watching...
Will.i.am.
Yeah, Bill.i.am. God, I hate Will.i.am. But,
I like him.
No, he's as a tech head. Because obviously this is an element that doesn't really come into our show. Obviously I love tech. I'm a huge tech person. I'm the wannabe Tony Stark if ever there was one. But someone like Will.i.am really annoys me because you do sit and think, dude, you know what the word bandwidth means. That's the extent of your knowledge. Stop trying. Please stop.
Right, so he annoys you for a reason that probably doesn't annoy anyone else.
No. He gets all these cool tech jobs, right? Like, he got to be the head creative designer for Intel or whatever it was. He gets the job redesigning the DeLorean. He's thinking, the dude found a white leather jacket he liked in a store one day and bought it. We could all do that. Just because he likes Back to the Future does not make him a futurist. You know what I mean?
This is really upsetting you.
It irks me. I am not a fan of Will.i.am. And
man knows talent.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Who was the last voice winner that you remember hearing about a second album from?
It doesn't matter. It's the fact that he, in fact, not even using the voice as an example. It's the fact that he can hear one sample, give it to someone who it would be appropriate for, like you, Britney Spears.
Oh, no, he's a producer.
Yeah, as a producer.
Producer, great.
Yeah.
I mean, what's that one I really like that ends G.I. Joe? There's a Black Eyed Peas track that ends G.I. Joe. The 2000 and late.
Yeah.
Boom Boom Pow.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a remix, a really terrible remix, it's worth saying, that plays over the end credits of G.I. Joe. And there was... I just remember, that was around the time as well. That was the summer of the Wolverine Open, the first Wolverine one. X-Men
Origins,
which he's in. Isn't he
he's become... Yeah.
The teleporter? Is
yes.
he a teleporting character? Like, I don't remember the actual Marvel character, but... and he said that apparently because that's filmed in Australia and he kept having to stop over in the Orient, stop over like Singapore and Japan, those were like his layover flights whenever he was going. And he hung out in clubs there. And that's apparently where that track comes from. He likes the style of Japanese club music, and that's why that song exists, apparently.
Okay.
You're like, okay, cool, that's a cool producer story, I kind of like that, but your acting sucks, please stop being in films. And also, you didn't do anything good with the DeLorean was fine, you should have, fine as it was, you should have...
I didn't realise he did redesign the DeLorean. Why did he redesign it?
Because he's Will.i.am, he's never met a paycheck he didn't want to fillet.
Okay.
Anyway, back to comic books.
Yeah.
Alien 3. You heard this news?
I've not.
Right, do you remember how there's like 9 different versions of Alien 3 before the one we actually got?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. If you want to piss Kermode off, just mention Alien 3. Seriously, I did it the morning after Alien Covenant. It was great. In fact, the only conversation I've ever had, like where I didn't have to stop and explain anything about Alien 3. The original story for Alien 3, which was one in which Sigourney Weaver wasn't going to appear, she was going to be in the cryostasis or in a coma for the movie. It was going to be Hicks and Bishop's movie.
Cool.
And the girls were in the pods, or they were in a coma or whatever. It was a 2-part. I think it was intended as a 2-part movie, but they designed this idea. The series would have gone back to Midway Station from the beginning of Aliens. You know that where Ripley was hospitalised after her 57-year sleep. They would go back there. We would see more of it, and it was basically going to be a shopping centre. So think Passengers. And there was going to be basically a Cold War going on, like a human political civil war going on. And into this mix came the aliens, including the spore variant of aliens that you saw in Covenant very briefly. They come out of the flowers and they went through his ear, and like that was an idea from Alien 3. And it was written by William Gibson, who wrote, was it Cyberpunk?
Yes.
They originally wrote, basically invented Cyberpunk as we now know it. That script never happened. Vincent Ward never got to direct it. Vincent Ward also never got to direct the next version of that, which was a wooden space monastery with monks, which was pitched as... I'm nerding out, I'm sorry.
Monkastery.
I'm aware that I'm really nerding out on this. It was referred to as In the Name of the Rose in Space. That's what that next version was going to be called. They then ditched the wooden element, replaced everything with steel, and that became Alien 3. Monks became convicts, but they kept the religious element. No one knows why. Anyway, so yeah, I know far too much about Alien 3.
And oh no, I've gone cross-eyed.
Did you know that in the Dark Horse comic adaptation of Alien 3, they added a topless shot for Ripley? It's a really weird thing to add, isn't it?
Well, as long as it's not a topless shot of Charles Dance.
Oh, no. She was boning Charles Dance at the time. In the comic book adaptation that Dark Horse put out of Alien 3, that love scene with Charles Dance features a booby shot that just does not exist in the movie.
Weird.
Yeah, you're like, why have you added this? Like, also...
Some pervy nerd.
Yeah, like, what a weird thing to have... Okay, fair. But yeah, that William Gibson movie has now been sort of officially greenlit as a comic book adaptation. Not the first time this has happened. This has happened before with like abandoned movies becoming comic books. Frank Miller's abandoned RoboCop 2 is available as a comic book. And yeah, so we're going to get the original version of Alien 3 is finally going to be brought to us in comic book form.
Need to say that in comic book form.
Comic book form. So this is like Buffy Season 8 and Angel Season 6. Only in comic book form, it doesn't technically count.
Yeah, it's not canon.
Yeah, it's not canon. The Angel one sucked ass.
What was the Buffy one like?
The Buffy one wasn't bad, but it was a bit too much. It was too out there, I think.
Okay.
Like, you had Xander with the
eye patch.
He kept making Nick Fury jokes. In his turtleneck and his eye patch, he kept making Nick Fury jokes. I'm like, this sucks. There was a very weird thing with, I think, when Buffy went to comic book. And interesting enough story, and there were a couple of decent twists in there. There's a villain reveal in there that you're just like, oh my god, that like I would kill to have seen this done in the series, like a really solid villain reveal. But the other thing was, I think there was a whole thing with I think they made Buffy gay. I think at one point in it, it was just like there's no even vague indication of this in the series, but like Willow, you kind of got them because they'd set it up. They had those weird little, those brilliant little, like offhand references, didn't they? Like the evil vampire version, who clearly was gay. So it was like that weird little Easter egg that soon down the line, clearly Willow will be gay. They do it with Buffy. And you're like, this doesn't make any sense because the whole thing with Buffy has always been, basically, she just galactically screws up relationships with the men in her life. And that was the signature thing. I know you're not the first-hand Buffy fan, that's the missus.
This is definitely a second-hand appreciation.
Yeah, because you've been made to watch, I think it's all of Buffy now, haven't you?
Not all of it.
No. I'm sure like at one point you were like 5 seasons
I've got something
deep.
of a backbone.
No,
I got...
Did you get to college?
Is that the end of season 2?
No, college is season 4. They the show moves.
I think I saw up to the end of season 2, and I've seen like odd episodes. Like I've seen Hush.
Hang on a minute. If you've seen season 2, like you can't even pay attention because anyone who's seen season 2 of Buffy knows that season 2 of Buffy is the greatest. Is the greatest thing that's ever been put on a television screen, and you owe the series. 5 more seasons after that, purely because of how brilliant the second season was.
What's Spike's girlfriend called?
Drusilla.
Hate her.
Do you know who she is?
Hate her.
Do you actually know who she is?
Don't care. I would like to know less about her.
No, the actress, I mean.
I know. I don't want to know much about her.
She's Martin Landau's daughter.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, seemingly never been in anything else.
I think there's a reason for that.
Probably.
I thought she was terrible.
She's pretty bad.
Yeah.
She's pretty bad. I mean, I have a soft spot for the Spike character.
But I've watched Hush and I've seen the musical episode. They were both really good.
What's your favourite track in a musical episode?
I mean, I've seen it once. I'm not married to it.
Okay. Well, fair enough. Actually, I think I've only ever actually watched the episode once. I'm not a musical fan anyway, but I didn't like the episode.
But you didn't like it?
I wasn't a fan.
I thought the episode was really good, but I couldn't tell you about songs and...
Oh, well, it's Spike's song, if you want to say.
Yeah, it was...
Rest in Peace, I think it's called.
I like what's like the main villain song, the guy with the red hair.
The zoot suit.
Yeah,
it was awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
God, I've always wanted a zoot suit. You know, with those tapered trousers. Because like that's the mask, isn't it? The mask wears a zoot suit. But that, by the way, is my dream Halloween costume. One year I will be the mask.
You do like the yellow suit and everything.
Yeah, I would love to do that. That is when the mask came out in the US. They sold the mask. They sold the green.
That's terrifying.
They never sold it in the UK, and it was so weird because there was about 2 years where all summer blockbusters got really cool toys in the US, and they never came out in the UK. And there was The Mask, I think it was 94, and then 95 was Mission Impossible. Oh no, it might 96. Mission Impossible. And they put out all sorts of cool spy toys for kids. But they never sold them in the UK. There was a walkie-talkie watch, and they never sold it. They sold the goddamn tape recorder from Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. They never sold the walkie-talkie watch that wasn't in the movie of Mission Impossible.
I had the recorder from Home Alone 2.
The Talk Boy. Is it Talk Boy?
Yeah,
Radio Boy?
yeah.
Something like that?
I think it's Talk Boy.
Talk Boy.
Yeah, I had, but I so wish I still had it now.
You just know, Trump's ownership is on that somewhere.
Do you know who got the Mission Impossible watch?
No, go on.
Will.i.am.
Of course he did. And then he claimed he could redesign it to be cooler. But funnily enough, the next software iteration that comes to the Apple Watch includes a walkie-talkie.
The next watch I'm going to get will tell me the time. And I'll be able to go into water depths of about 50 metres.
You know these things are waterproof now, right?
I don't care.
You say that. I love that I live in a world in which I go on a website, try to pay for something, and then my watch asks me to authorise the payment.
Right.
That's the future right there. That's not a Bill I Am future. That's a proper hardcore future, right? Okay, right. Quick skim through film news. There's a story here. Apparently, Danny, it's Danny, isn't it? Danny Guerrera from Black Panther played Okoye, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
And of course, he's Michonne.
From Walking Dead.
Yeah. Apparently, she's in talks for this is the headline, a fourth Kong.
Libby Fourth?
Well, I'm wondering, are we including the Godzilla vs. Kong movie as the threequel?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah. So because I read that she's in talks to be in that, so Godzilla versus Kong, and then also Star Trek 4.
Oh, no, hang on a minute. No. This headline has been... Okay, I see what they've done. Right, this headline is nonsense. Okay,
What does it say?
I want to just... Can I read you the headline and you tell me how you'd interpret this?
Yeah.
Danny Guerrera is in talks for fourth Kong and Trek. You know what they've done, don't you?
You meant to say fourth
They
Trek.
meant to say Kong and fourth Trek.
Yeah. Put fourth Kong.
But yeah, so...
There's only been one Kong. It's like,
exactly.
Yeah.
She's joined Godzilla King of...
Godzilla vs. Kong.
No, Godzilla vs. Kong. She's joined Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yep.
Sorry, yeah. But she's also apparently in talks for the fourth Star Trek movie.
Yes, she is.
You know this movie that doesn't exist? Right, this movie that...
They're putting together.
Yeah, this movie that apparently has a full returning cast. Quentin Tarantino is writing the script.
Well, I thought they were going to be two different films.
Yeah.
This QT one was Quentin Tarantino.
There's another one, yeah.
And then the one where Chris Hemsworth was going to be coming back. It was going to be some weird...
Yeah, that was the time travel one with the Guardian on the Edge of Forever.
Which I quite like that idea.
I like that idea, and also how good a bookend is that?
Yeah.
That closes that off.
It's pretty great, yeah.
Also, you really just want to see Chris Hemsworth get to do like a proper
Actually
action movie that isn't Marvel.
Yeah. Well, it was the first time we all properly saw Chris Hemsworth, wasn't it? Like for a 5-minute scene, and it was great.
I remember that summer because that was one of his two big roles that summer. You know what the other one was?
What was it?
It starred Steve Zahn. And it's that movie when they're on holiday, like backpackers are on holiday, and they're all couples, and one of them's a murderer.
What was it?
Oh my god. What was it called? I'm IMDbing this right now. Summer of 2009, starred Steve Zahn, starred Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth was like the bad boy trashy one, who the film clearly wanted to set up as the villain, and then the twist was that they actually weren't the villains. Oh my god. I'm just going to type Chris Hemsworth into IMDb. Oh my god, I've become my mother. Anyway, okay, so... It had a different title in the UK, in fact. I remember that. It was A Perfect Getaway.
I don't remember that.
And it starred Mila Jovovich.
Yeah, let's have a look at the poster.
Hang on, I'm pulling it up now. Hang on, here we are. So, that one there, right there. You remember that? Yeah, summer of 2009. Written and directed by David Toohey of Pitch Black fame.
Yeah. So my boy Steve Zahn.
Yeah, and it started... Oh, wait, hang on a minute. Right, you're gonna hate yourself in a moment. I'm really sorry to do this to you, man. It starred Timothy Olyphant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the cast list as follows: Steve Zahn, Timothy Olyphant, Mila Jovovich, Keely Sanchez, who replaced Melissa George in 30 Days of Night, Dark Days. Yo, thank you.
Full circle.
Thank you. Marley Shelton. Remember Marley Shelton? sort of bit actress. She was in Valentine, that David Boreanaz slasher movie.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, she's one of the 4 girls in that. She also turned up as a cameo at the beginning of something recently. I forget what it was. Something big. Chris Hemsworth. Is there anyone else in there? There's going to be someone on this cast list, isn't there? Someone like buried deep down.
Yeah.
It's about Luis Guzman or someone.
Hello, it's me, Luis Guzman.
Oh, speaking of Luis Guzman, I watched Journey to the Mysterious Island.
Oh yeah,
How much fun is Luis Guzman?
he's great.
I love it.
Yeah, I love Luis Guzman.
He's just I've never looked at my own genitals in the same way post waiting, without hearing like the voice of if you got some free time, play with your nuts, you know. I want the statue from Community. Anyway, so I think we've covered everything this week.
I think so.
Like
Yeah.
Danny Guerrera, we covered that. Let's see what else there is. We don't do TV, so we don't need to talk about Pose. Willem Dafoe's got a Disney movie. You're stunned look, I know. Willem Dafoe, there is more and you're going to love it. Willem Dafoe is apparently going to lead. This is so great.
Oh, keep me in suspense.
Right, not only is it great, the picture they've got of Willem Dafoe on this article is even better. It is the cherry on top. So, Willem Dafoe is going to star in a live-action film entitled Togo for Walt Disney. The director of the remake of Point Break is helming this. So, Ericsson Core. Not Ericsson Light, Ericsson Core. It is going to be about the 1925 Alaskan dog sled run. The Iditarod? I think something like that. No, the Iditarod. It's called the Nome Surun Run.
Right.
Nome Surun Run. It's going to star Willem Dafoe. I'm just it's going to focus, apparently, this is the quote, on the unlikely friendship between man and dog.
Between man and Dafoe.
Man and dog. This is the picture of Willem Dafoe that we're using.
Oh, look at his face.
So, fine. He doesn't look at all like he's going to wear my skin in that picture at all. He's really pissed that he didn't get that Oscar for Florida Project, isn't he?
I mean, he is brilliant in that film.
Oh, he's so good, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, that was one we forgot. What's the show? The show that old white people like. What's it called? The Manor one. The Maggie Smith thing. Country House.
Oh, Atlanta.
Yeah, that one.
Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey. Sorry. My late grandmother would hilariously always mispronounce things. And apparently
Call it Downtown.
She would always call it Downtown Abbey.
Downtown Abbey.
Downtown Abbey. But
that's a different, more gritty show.
Definitely, yeah. And do you know, every time I hear it as well, I always think of Short Circuit 2 when he's using the calculator to dial music over the phone, like ding, ding, downtown. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Downton Abbey is going to be a movie, apparently.
Yes, it is. With everyone apart from Lily James coming back.
Really?
Yeah.
Everyone apart from...
Yeah. It was weird.
It's like the one person who has business being in a feature film.
Yeah. One person that's been successful.
It's so
really
weird,
successful.
like, you don't find it like funny when you look at like who's been in Downton Abbey. Like, there's some real stars who come out there.
Paul Giamatti was in it.
Was Paul Giamatti in it?
Yeah, he plays not the Dowager Countess, but just the Countess. Plays her brother.
Maggie Smith's brother?
No, because Maggie Smith is the Dowager Countess, so she's...
Oh, right, okay, sorry, yeah. I'm not entirely down on the parlance.
You're not down on the Downton.
I'm not down on the Downton parlance, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Yeah. He's in it for like a couple of episodes.
When I couldn't sleep one night, watched one episode of Downton Abbey. It was the very, very first episode. I enjoyed it. I'm not going to lie.
It's really good.
I enjoyed it. It was very good. And
I watched like the first 3 seasons of it.
Yeah, I liked it very much. I've never got around to watching it. That's all.
At some point, I will finish it.
That it has had an ending.
Yes.
It's over, isn't it?
Yeah, it's done. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think he had 5 series, and then there's some Christmas specials.
They do one.
Well.
They seem to do one every year, don't they?
Yeah.
Like a big feature length.
Well, it's not been on for a couple of years now. It's finished.
Oh, has it been?
Yeah, it's been a good few years.
It just feels like it's always around. Yeah. Well, when you're getting referenced in Marvel movies, you've made.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
Apparently, there's some significance as well to the moment that's shown in Iron Man. there's some metatextual significance to what's happening in the scene or something. I'm not sure because I've not seen it, and all I think is that's apparently how you get Jon Favreau out of a coma.
Just play some dance.
I always imagined you just opened a full fat Coke. Or you said, here's a movie in which you get to whine about your critical standing. Go ahead. But, yeah.
You should never watch Chef on an empty stomach.
Oh, God, no. No, not at all. Is that the movie in which he's married to Sofia Vergara?
Yeah.
But they can't make it work, so he pops off, bones Scarlett Johansson, and then just goes back to Sofia Vergara.
But
he looks and sounds like Jon Favreau.
Like Jon Favreau,
yeah. That's... Wow.
What a world.
Talk about wish fulfillment. That's like Don John level, I'll cast Scarlett Johansson as my love interest. Kind of writing right there. So, yeah, I think that's basically... Oh, no. Tell a lie. There's one piece of film news.
What has Nicolas Cage signed up for now?
No, actually, nothing that I know of. Although, we talked about Spider-Man the other week, didn't we?
We have, yeah.
Right, great news. Remember, and this segs nicely back into not only the comic book thing we were talking about, but also Alien 3. So, do you remember when everyone hated Alien 3 and that dude who made District 9 said, I'll make a better Alien 3. Here's some concept artwork that looks really good.
Yes.
And for about a year, well, actually longer than that, about 2 years, everyone was like, I can't wait for Neil Blomkamp's Alien 3B.
This is going to be about RoboCop.
This is going to be about RoboCop.
We spoke about this last week.
Did we speak about it last week?
Yeah, man.
Oh, okay then.
Not to piss on your chips or anything.
No. I mean, you're not shit on my cereal at all. But, so yeah, there's another RoboCop 2. Neil Blomkamp's directing it. Thanks, Case.
Is this definitely going to be a sequel to
the original RoboCop? Yeah. Apparently, it's. I think the idea is to go back to the Frank Miller story that did get turned into a comic. Which actually, when you read the comic, isn't that far removed from what would become RoboCop 2 anyway. It's just the comic was a lot more R-rated.
Okay.
And it didn't have that weird killing the kid thing that I've never been comfortable with.
No.
Like, help me out with this one. Because the kid's a dick. And you want him to die from the minute you meet him. And then he does die, but you still feel like it's inappropriate in some way. What is that?
I feel like the Germans will have a word for it, but I don't know what it is.
Oh, there would absolutely be a German word, and it would be 4 times longer than it needed to be.
Definitely.
But anyway, so that's all.
I'm out.
That's me too. So there you go. Here it is. Your moment of Cage.
He is a jazz musician director. I mean, you never really know what you're going to do when you get to the set. I remember one day he came to the set and he said, "Nicholas, you're gonna sing opera today." And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" He says, "Well, there's going to be a cotton ball under your bed, and I want you to have a bad dream and sing an opera song about the cotton ball." Just like that. And I said, "Well, okay, man, let's do it. Okay." And I had to come up with come up with an opera song, and I didn't feel stupid about it. I felt like this. I mean, if it would work, it would be in the movie.